Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this video, we are going to talk about a brand new Scooby-Doo animated movie that has just hit DVD and digital. It is Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island. This is actually a brand new sequel to one of the most popular and beloved Scooby-Doo movies that's ever been released, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. This movie is from 1998. Now, 21 years later, on the 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo, we have a brand new sequel. Before we get too far into this video, I do want to say that Warner Brothers Home Entertainment sent me a copy of this to review and share with you, but the opinions expressed in this video are my own. Thank you to Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. And I also want to talk about how this is the 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo, and I do feel like Warner Brothers has marked the occasion well. We have that new set of the new Scooby-Doo movies, which we reviewed right here on this channel. I'll link to it right here. They've also released Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, the series that started it all in 1969. We have that on Blu-ray as well. And now we have this new movie, Return to Zombie Island, which is clearly for the fans. Because like I said, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is beloved. Whenever people talk about Scooby-Doo movies, this always comes up. This is like the cream of the crop, because this is the movie that kind of established, one of the goals of the movie was to establish an actual supernatural threat. Now, it had been done before. There was the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, if you guys know the series that I'm talking about, had Vincent Price in it. That had a supernatural slant to it as well. But this is really the classic Scooby-Doo formula with zombies. It's in the title. They go to Zombie Island. And now, Return to Zombie Island is it's just a really fun revisiting of Zombie Island. It feels like, at all times, this movie feels like a love letter to Scooby-Doo. One of the things that's interesting to me is that I rewatched this because I wanted to watch them together. I should say, you don't have to watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island to check out Return to Zombie Island, because they do a fantastic and hilarious recap of this movie done in this kind of it's kind of like a postmodern style, very self-aware style that I think is really funny. But you don't have to watch this, but I did. I wanted to watch them together because it's the sequel. It's the original and then the sequel. So I was watching Zombie Island again, revisiting this, and it's just really interesting how they tried to they tried to update the design. So like Fred is wearing a different outfit. He's wearing a more modern outfit. You see that in a lot of the more modern last 20 years or so. They really tried to freshen some of these characters up. But this movie, in every way, feels like a love letter to classic Scooby-Doo. Everyone is back in their original costumes or outfits, their original animation designs. Fred is wearing that ascot, don't touch my ascot. And everybody else is kind of wearing their classic get-up too. All the stuff that we love about 60s Scooby-Doo, that 1969, 1970, all that classic era Scooby-Doo is represented here. There's even a montage. There are a couple of musical montages with 60s. They're not actually 60s songs, but they feel like 60s songs. They're written and performed to harken back to that classic stuff. So there's all the running in corridors and crossing the halls and stuff. Hiding in potted plants while you're being pursued by zombies, that sort of thing, while this 60s song plays in the background. I love it. I love it so much. It's just so fun. The movie itself is laugh out loud funny. I'm watching this at night on the couch with my wife. She's doing something else, and I'm snorting with laughter. Deep cuts too. I don't want to spoil any of the jokes for you, but we're movie fans here at Serial at Midnight. We're kind of maybe more than the average movie fan into this stuff. We take it a little bit further. There's a recurring Alan Smithy joke. You guys know that the history of Alan Smithy is a directorial credit. They build an entire series of jokes around Alan Smithy. That is what we're talking about, and that is what makes this movie so fun. It's just silly and funny, and I also want to point out, I don't know if it's been publicized a whole lot, but Elvira is in this movie. This has clearly been released and marketed in time for Halloween, and it features Elvira, Warner Brothers animated Elvira, voiced by Cassandra Peterson, who is of course the person behind Elvira, the actress that breathed life into the character of Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark. So That's fun. The script is funny. It's got lots and lots of Easter eggs for classic Scooby-Doo episodes and storylines. There's again, I'm not gonna get into the plot. Well, I should do like a cursory summary, just really quick. So in Zombie Island, in the original 1998 movie, they go to a zombie island and they face zombies. Can you imagine that? Zombies, you guys, in a movie called Zombie Island. But the whole thing takes place on Zombie Island. There's a real supernatural threat, which is really cool because it's rare. It's always like, I would have gotten away with it too. It's like Old Man Potter from the mill, and they rip the mask off. This movie has so much fun with that, and it also has fun with the idea. There's maybe some of the unresolved plot issues from the original Zombie Island, but they just do it in such a winking way. And I don't mean winking in an ironic, like well, we're so much cooler than Scooby-Doo. No, it's like inviting us in on the fun. This is a tone that can be difficult for a movie or project to tackle sometimes, where you want to have fun with something and acknowledge the history of something, but sometimes it can come off ironically in a way that feels not necessarily mean-spirited, but it feels elevated above the thing we're talking about. And I'm thinking of some very specific examples, but I'm not going to name them because that's just not nice. But there are things out there that are like, look at how cool this is, and we're gonna make fun of this thing because this is kind of silly, right? This movie doesn't do that. This movie invites us in on the fun, so we are having fun with the filmmakers and with the talent behind it. So many in-jokes, so many references and like asides to classic Scooby-Doo stuff. And just like modern jokes that just like, this feels very fresh. This is what it is. It just feels fresh. It doesn't feel like it's a rehash. At no point in this movie, it's about 80 minutes. At no point in this, during the watching of this, was I ever bored, or I never got on my phone. That's the thing. Like, can you sit through the movie without getting on your phone? I absolutely did. Did not even want to get on my phone. I was just really enjoying myself. It's full of action. It's legitimately that cool, creepy, spooky kind of Scooby-Doo. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes Scooby-Doo can be a little bit lighter, more kid-friendly. This is kid-friendly for sure, but it's an older kid-friendly. This is legitimately cool animation, that dark moonlight, zombies walking in the moonlight kind of thing. And there's maybe mild, there's some creatures. There's creatures in this movie. So I don't know, that's the plot. That's kind of the overall. I think it's really cool that on the 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo, 50 years after this thing first started, Frank Welker is still the voice of Fred. And he sounds exactly like he sounded in 1969. It's been 50 years. Fred still sounds just like Fred. He's now doing Scooby-Doo as well. Originally, Don Messick was Scooby-Doo. Now Frank Welker is also doing Scooby-Doo. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that it's not the original Scooby-Doo. Matthew Lillard is continuing. He's been doing Shaggy on and off for the last, basically since the live action movies that he was in. And he does a great Shaggy. I really like Matthew Lillard's Shaggy. The voice acting is just fantastic across the board. There's a lot of cool... It's that classic characterization. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this feels like people who love 60s Scooby-Doo. It's not trying to reinvent Scooby-Doo. It's trying to celebrate what Scooby-Doo is. And I don't really feel like this movie's being celebrated as a 50th anniversary product, but it is to me, and it does feel that way. It feels very celebratory. It feels very tribute oriented, So I'm recommending it. I think that if you're watching this channel, you probably share my affinity for Scooby-Doo. If you're watching this video, chances are you love Scooby-Doo. And we've had a lot of cause for celebration throughout the year, this year, with the new Blu-ray stuff, Scooby-Doo looking better than it ever has before. Really good restoration for Scooby-Doo. And so with this product, this new Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, it just really feels like, I've said it before several times in this video, it does feel like a love letter to Scooby-Doo. Like, I can see myself watching this any time of the year just because it is so distinctly classic Scooby-Doo. All the things that we think about, the designs, the humor. There's no laugh track. I should point that out because I know that's an issue for some people. There's no laugh track here. This is just it's a movie, and it does feel like a movie. Sometimes these Scooby-Doo animated projects can feel like extended episodes of a TV show or a special or something like that. I will say both of these movies feel like feature films. They do feel like a movie experience. So I'm going to give this a very hearty recommendation. I should also talk about the special features on this. There are 3, well, it's 2. Okay, here's the way they do it. There's 3 episodes of bonus cartoons here. So there's the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries episode, Ghost of the Ancient Astronauts. That was kind of a 2-parter. It says part 1 here. I'll show you the back of the box again. Here's our extras. Ghost of the Ancient Astronauts, part 1. It's actually 2 parts. For those Scooby-Doo scholars out there, the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries was an 80s iteration of Scooby-Doo. It was Scooby and Scrappy together. I think it was actually in the first season, I believe it was just called Scooby-Doo. And then in the second season, they renamed it to the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries. But the Ghost of Ancient Astronauts was like you remember how Super Friends would do like 2 12-minute half parts? They'd do like a 12-minute segment, and then they'd break for commercials, and you'd go advertise for cereal, and then you'd come back and they'd finish it with part 2. That's what that is it's 2 episodes. Episodes 1 and 2 are on this DVD, but it's totaling like 22 minutes or 24 minutes, something like that. And then there's also an episode of What's New Scooby-Doo, Mummy Scares Best. From that show was from 2003. Again, kind of tinkering with the classic designs on that show. They were kind of trying to freshen up these characters, whereas here, once again, we've reverted back to classic. So you do get a lot of value here. You get, about 45 minutes of extra Scooby-Doo. I would really like to see, if anyone is watching this video and has the, Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, we would love, I think I speak for all of us at this channel, watching this channel, we would love to have the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries, that 80s series, that 1983, 1984 Scooby-Doo. We would love to have a complete series of that on DVD. It has not really been represented on DVD. Those episodes pop up from time to time on compilations. They do these 13 episode collections, and sometimes these the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries episodes pop up on those collections. But we've never had like a complete series collection. It was 2 seasons. Hopefully one of these days we will have an opportunity to buy that and put that on our shelves. But guys, that's it. I'm going to recommend my heartiest, you guys know I love Scooby-Doo. I give Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island my heartiest recommendation. It is now available in stores, online, digitally, all the digital platforms that you would expect to buy this stuff from. Now available. Let me know what you think. If you do watch this movie, I would love to know what you think about it. If you enjoyed it as much as I do, you guys know how crazy. Someone commented one time and they're like, "You really like Scooby-Doo." I do. I really do like Scooby-Doo. So, guys, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you very much. Thank you to Warner Brothers Home Entertainment for sending this over. Guys, thank you. Take care. And until next time, we will catch you later.